move on to item 10.
Just keep spinning.
Don't we want to do 9? Oh, we did 9.
We already did 9. Now, let's
No,
go around.
no.
Rich, could you get one of the lights over there so we can put Barbara to sleep? The February 5th.
This one?
Yeah. Okay, back on February 5th, a 20-foot length of 14-inch pipe split right down the middle. That's the section of pipe that they took out of the trench once they got the water shut off and everything. Our guys got the repairs made. Unfortunately, unlike some of the smaller breaks that we run into, the 10-foot by 10-foot patch that we usually run into on our normal repairs, this one's going to end up being about 35 feet by 600 foot patch, or roughly 20,000 square feet. You may recall that we have a small patch contractor that we call in about once a month to repair patches. If we use the cost that he comes out and does the patches for, we'd be roughly in the $160,000, $170,000 range, based on the, because it costs them a lot of money to mobilize and come out and do this. It is a 5-inch thick piece of asphalt that we've got to replace, which makes it even more expensive than the normal roadways that we typically patch. So we're asking the board to authorize us to go out to bid this 35-foot by 600-foot length. And if you go down there, next picture there is, that's a valve can that we've got there. And what isn't really noticeable there based on the picture, but that's raised up about 6 inches above where the asphalt normally was.
I drove over
Next
there.
Dry your teeth, you drive over it.
That's Aaron's hand there. Along the edge of the curb and gutter, the asphalt for about 600 feet has been lifted up about 3 inches above the curb there, just from the force of the water underneath the asphalt.
You ever thought about being a hand model there?
I haven't.
And then this is going a little bit further down the road there, but you can see in the travel lane the asphalt failure as a result of the water underneath the traffic way. And next one, okay. So anyways, lights. Asking the board to authorize us to proceed with getting a asphalt patch not to exceed $80,000 to cover the 20,000 square feet that the city's requesting us to replace. And if we need to, quickly.
I only have one question. Is this going to, we're going to get some problem from the contractor that we have a contract with for patches?
No, no.
Based on the way that was done.
Las Vegas Paving's up here doing some work already, maybe we get some economy of scale.
I don't imagine the city would
And-
tell
and
us
that's-
whether they were.
And that's one of the reasons we're going out for the this larger single bid here is would see, right now our current patch contractor charges $8.50 per square foot for a 5-inch lift. And we talked to Bowen Collins, and they've seen prices down in the $2.50 to $3 per square foot range on this larger amount.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, I think, personally, I think we gotta leave the small patch alone. When a big job like this comes up, we just have to bid it.
Yeah, that's kind of how that contract is even written up. It's just for service lateral fixes and not large mainline patches.
Miss Ellis then.
In the background material, I believe you had an estimate that it was going to be about $75,000. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have my backup with me. Is that the total cost to fix the entire thing?
Just the asphalt. That doesn't include our
That's
cost.
just asphalt.
Yeah, that doesn't include our cost and the manpower that it took to repair the pipe break itself.
Okay.
Plus the amount of
You
fill
guys
that
are
we had
cheap
to
anyway.
backfill.
That's already done.
But not inexpensive.
Yes.
So the most you're gonna spend out of the budget to get this back to the way it was before the water break, you estimate at $75,000.
Yes.
Thank you.
My only concern is we're gonna have some more breaks
No, we're not gonna have more.
we're not.
You gotta have positive mental attitudes to watch it.
All right.
Hope you're wrong.
Mr. Fox,
On the charges for the actual underground work, is that budgeted out of general maintenance or predicted failures
Yes,
out of a fund?
yes.
Do you have an idea right now of where that fund's at? I mean, you just had the new Pioneer break on by Falcon Ridge.
Yeah, I
Those
Wes,
costs,
I don't have that number at my fingertips, Dave, but,
Okay.
I can get it.
I was just curious of how
We're gonna be within budget,
yeah.
to date.
to date, on those repairs.
Okay.
With this one, and the one we're gonna talk about next, we'll still be within budget on.
But the asphalt is over and above the budget?
No.
No, it's within budget.
The repairs of the pipe has already been done by guys, by
Right.
our staff, with supplies we already have on hand.
Right.
Okay, so we're not.
But there's a cost to it, it's coming out of a budget item.
Yeah, the
Yes.
large asphalt patching.
But yeah, we're gonna
there's a
be under budget,
and
we're gonna be
it's-
under budget still with all of this.
Even with,
Yes.
even with the asphalt patch, we're gonna still maintain under budget.
and now we have a new break on,
Including that, we're still gonna be under
Not
budget.
that Pioneer.
Why don't we run and grab that?
Sandra?
Well, I just have a couple of questions that had to do with the break in itself. It says here that it's possible that it was a rock. My question was, is when the pipe was laid, normally there's specifications. Normally it's sand, it's camped, it's sand, and we don't put any, what do you call it, native materials back in.
Correct.
So so if it was a rock, do we have our own inspector that inspected this to see that this was,
I can respond to some of that.
Okay.
This line was, the spec list has changed to have non-native soil put back in there. That, Mary, can you remember, was that
Was very long ago.
2010? We did that. I don't have the exact date.
August?
But this line's been in there before that, and that's why that spec's been changed. Before you could put native soil in there, you're supposed to get out any rocks. And with that, the inspector comes, if there's a half inch of sand over top of a rock, he's not gonna see it. But then the pipe goes on there, and the weight of that will push in on it, especially if the side of it isn't as compact. And so, that's why changing our specs is going to ensure that they over-excavate and then bring in non-native soil that is gradated, so it can't have big rocks and have this issue in the future. But since we have so much pipe in the ground that was put before these specs, there's a chance we're going to keep
Like,
seeing.
when was this particular area?
Pioneer right there. Before my
95,
94, 95.
95.
Yeah.
For a while.
it almost
I'll
the
bet it was
inception of the water
94.
district. The water district was what, 93? So,
Yeah, it was right after the water district was.
yeah.
We wouldn't have any recourse anyway.
Well, no, I wasn't even worried the recourse, I was just, I thought maybe there was actual pipe codes that maybe, I mean, just
No,
know
those
what
are
you're
good
supposed to.
questions, and unfortunately, part of our history is we didn't have good standards at the time.
SH, we're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah, and that's what those new bid specs are.
Expensive way
Hopefully,
to learn.
will diminish. And when we do have these, of course, they're going back in and fixing what had been done. So hopefully, we're getting away from so many of these issues.